Okay, now lastly, let's try to work some of these out for cylinders. Let's bring up the surface area formula for cylinders, which is 2 times pi r squared plus 2 pi r times the height of this cylinder. Okay? You're going to find that these cylinder problems are going to be very straightforward. You're only punching in two things, the radius of the cylinder and the height of the cylinder. So let's go ahead and do that. Surface area is 2 times pi. And by the way, you could use 3.14 for pi, but I highly recommend you guys use the symbol pi instead on your calculator. It gives you a much more accurate answer. Anyways, it's 2 pi times the radius. What's the radius of our cylinder here? 6 squared plus 2 times pi times the radius again, 6 times the height of this cylinder, which is the perpendicular distance between the two bases. In this case, 9. Everything's in. Just be very careful when you go working this out. That's 2 times pi times 36 plus 2 times pi times 54. I had a lapse of, didn't know what that was for a second. Anyways, multiply this out. I like to keep it in terms of pi till the very end. So 36 times 2, that's 72 pi. Plus 2 times 54, which is 108 pi. I'll combine those, 72 pi and 108 pi, 180 pi. I'm going to go ahead and multiply this out. Again, I said use the symbol pi to get the most accurate answer here. So 180 times the symbol pi, I'm getting 565.486, and if we round correctly, 0.5. Surface area, so labeling this, square foot. Surface area of that cylinder, right there. Let's try another one. Now this is really the only kind of trickery you'll come across in a cylinder. See if you notice it. So 2 times pi times the radius squared plus 2 times pi times the radius times the height. So, surface area. What is the radius of this cylinder? Is it 8? No. That's actually the diameter of this cylinder. Well, if the diameter is 8, what do you do with it to get the radius? Divided by 2. Our radius here is actually 4 centimeters, and that's what we're going to plug in for r here. So 4, that will be squared, plus 2 pi r times the height of the cylinder. In this case, it's 12. Right, everything's plugged in. Let's work this out carefully. That's 2 times pi times 16 plus 2 times pi times 48. So what we have here is 32 pi plus 96 pi. Combining those, again, I'm going to multiply by the symbol pi here on my calculator. Timesing it by pi gives us 402.1 square centimeters. There you go, surface area of that cylinder. Now I'm going to show you one more that you might come across on the online work I give you guys. It's going to be the one on the right here that I'm going to emphasize. Now what you notice here is they give you the surface area. We know what the surface area is, but what we're trying to find here is this variable x, which happens to be the height of this cylinder. So what do? Well, let's bring up the surface area formula. And let's plug in everything that we know. Starting with, don't we know what S is? Don't they give us what the surface area is? Sure do. I'm going to plug that in there then. Surface area here is 452.4, and that's going to equal 2 times pi times the radius. Here we go again. The radius, 4 inches. That will be squared. Plus, let me scoot some stuff over here. Two times pi times the radius again, times the height, which is what it is we're trying to find. We don't know the height of this thing. That'll be our variable we're going to solve for. All right, let's work out what we got. Times x. Let's find out what 40 pi is. Forty times pi is 125.7 if we round correctly, times the variable x. Now it's at this point where we got to solve for x by doing what? If it's 125.7 times x, we're going to divide out that 125.7 to both sides, right? 125.7. Maybe that cut that off. I'm not sure. But your final answer here is going to be 452.4 divided by 125.7. I'm getting 3.59 for x, which if we round correctly, the height of the cylinder is roughly 3.6 inches high.